he made his first million at 20 years old.
I just, as you mentioned, wanted to be a YouTuber. And then it kind of got shared around and I just got completely rejected for it. Good power, Air Force, baby! Man, I was just studying whatever. I recorded a video of myself saying that I'm going to go to university with the sole purpose of dropping out.
If you had to pick one skill that made you successful, what is it?
One skill.
We go for it.
Fuck it, yeah.
Alright, episode 8 already of the Champions Connect podcast, and today we are here with Fabio Morena.
Hey,
There you go.
W's in the chat, boys.
There you go. Thanks
Nice.
for coming.
Thank you for having me, man. I'm
On
excited.
short notice, we can say.
Yeah.
You've came to Malta and you literally came running here.
Literally, bro. And I'm hyped to do it.
So thanks once again. Today it's a special episode because it's not usually what I bring onto the table. Fabio is very young. He's 23 years old and he made his first million at 20 years old, and today he's going to share his story.
Yes, sir.
And I think, as I'm still 19, as we discussed earlier, and I don't think school was the biggest part of your success.
No. I sucked at school, man.
So I think that's why it's so important today. I'm not saying I achieved what you achieved so far, but I think I'm on the scale to achieve something great as well.
No, the right path for sure, bro. Even the fact that you're doing this content, like you're seeing where the direction is heading, that content is the future. You know, you're either consuming or creating, and you chose to create, so I respect it, man.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And Fabio here today he's here today to discuss his story. So let's start with as I love to always open up, with the upbringing. How was your upbringing as young Fabio Morena?
It was horrible.
Really?
No, I'm joking. No, it was good, man. I mean, I had great parents that showed me a lot of love, you know, throughout my childhood and growing up. And I was just always a bit mischievous, a bit different, like a bit creative. You know, when I was young, I used to mess around with everything, from like gaming to making fireworks to I just used to mess around so much, drive my mom crazy.
I think the mic has to come a bit closer.
A bit closer. Joe Rogan, keep a fist. Bro, I'm gonna take these off.
Yeah?
Feels a bit, I don't know, like I'm hearing myself.
A bit spacious.
Yeah, it's weird. I like it though. Like, this is more natural.
All right, go for it.
Wait, so basically, yeah, my upbringing, man. I mean, it was good. I was just very mischievous though. And just always trying to do new stuff and just inventing.
We're the quiet one.
Not really, man. I don't know. I always used to be like a bit of an overthinker though. So I always used to like overthink how I come across to other people. So that's why sometimes I maybe used to be a bit quiet, because I used to like deep it too much. So I used to think, let me not act this certain way because he's going to think I'm this type of person, or I'm awkward, or I'm this or I'm that.
So it was always on your mind,
Exactly.
thinking what people are going to think about you.
Exactly.
Oh.
I had like a bit of like anxiety in that sense, which was dumb, to be honest. But then I channeled that, and it kind of made me a person that is really, I think, good at tapping into what people like, you know, and that I use that for YouTube and stuff. Like I can put myself in other people's heads and kind of picture what would make them click on a video, continue watching, be entertained. It's kind of like that same wiring.
Yeah.
So there's pros and cons to it, I guess.
That I didn't explain is that Fabio made his first million off YouTube, which I think younger me, everyone who is young wants to be on YouTube. If it's either of playing Fortnite, you know, all those clips on Fortnite, people are just creating clips and think that they can go viral like this, but I don't think it's the right way. So that's why he's here today to explain everything, that how we can succeed from on YouTube.
100%, man.
So in one of your videos, I was saying that you got demonetized multiple times. Obviously, that we'll go into that later, and there's so many policies you have to go through before generating the right account. Let's go back to the school years. Okay, to the school years. How was your scholastic years, and how did you go through it?
I mean, it was a mixed bag. Like, there was a point where I had a lot of friends, and I was really happy when I was like, maybe from like 9 to like 13. And then at 13, I just, as you mentioned, wanted to be a YouTuber. And I like really thought I was doing good stuff. And I made my first ever channel. And I was posting videos about like, I was basically copying what I used to watch. Back in the day, it used to be like Shane Dawson, Prank vs. Prank, these types of like OG YouTubers. And I used to try to make these sit down videos of like comedy and stuff, or the Cinnamon Challenge or whatever. And I started posting these. And at the beginning, I was just posting them. I was like, okay, I'm going to keep it low key. Then I was like, I wanted some validation as a young kid, you know, and I was proud. It was like, I made this creation and I want to put it out and I want to show my friends and people at school. And then it kind of got shared around and I just got completely rejected for it. Like all my friends started making fun of me and people started showing it in the classrooms at school. And I got really, really embarrassed. And then after that point, like I basically had no friends from like 14, 15, 16. Then I kind of, you know, built myself and started to work on going to the gym, finding new friends. And then I kind of gained confidence again. But that path for me was really, really rocky.
So that's where you found yourself in the gym, you're saying?
Exactly. And that kind of changed everything. Because then it was like this big like middle finger, you know. I just wanted to be, I was gonna become like, I remember thinking like in my insecure 14-year-old brain, it's like if I become big, then they'll like me, or if I become big, then I won't care if they like me or not. And it was like trying to mask this insecurity I had. But then that kind of evolved into just being actually confident. So I would recommend to anyone to go to the gym. It's like
so that's the first part of your success is
100%, and it teaches you that like consistency, you know, because the gym is like an unloyal girlfriend. If you stop going, she leaves straight away. So you just need to be consistent, and like from one day to the next, you'll never see results. But from 1 year to the next of consistent effort, you look in the mirror and you're like, wow, like I'm a different human being. Like I've crafted this body and I did it all myself. So it gives you that confidence that anything you set your mind to, like if you really stay consistent with it, you can do it.
Yeah, and we had Adam Sullivan, who's a very good friend of yours as well, who came on the second episode.
Shout out Adam, yo.
He'll probably be watching this as well.
Yeah.
He came on the second episode, I think, and he mentioned that gym actually changed his life as well. He was very insecure as a person, which I suggest you all go watch that episode too. He was a very secure person, as in because of his physique. And then when he came into the gym, he changed his life. He created a business out of it. So it's a whole different idea of what you're saying as well.
Yeah.
How were you introduced to YouTube?
So I had as I was saying, when I was young, I used to love YouTube. I would watch it religiously. Like I remember I used to wake up, my van would pick me up to go to school at 7 on the dot. And I would wake up at 5:30 so that I could go downstairs, have breakfast and watch YouTube while having breakfast. Just like every single morning I would watch a brand new vlog from Prank vs. Prank. Anyway, this is like the attention span's dropping off. No, but anyway, what I'm trying to say is I used to love YouTube. So I always wanted to be like a YouTuber. So anyway, I started my first channel. As I said, it failed and I got bullied. So then I stopped it. But then I met a friend that had started a channel at the same time as me.
Would you like to mention his name?
Yes, his name's Sasha. Shout out Sasha. Absolute legend. If it wasn't for him, I don't know what I'd be doing. Anyway, so he kind of introduced me to this idea of faceless YouTube. So he started a channel at the same time as me when we were kids, like 13 years old.
And the same bracket of time that you were creating the cinnamon challenges and all
exactly. Okay. And he also got bullied for it.
So he was doing the same thing?
He was not the same thing, but he had like a gaming channel.
Okay.
And he was like talking over GTA compilations and stuff. And people did the same thing. They bullied him for it. So we were kind of in the same boat, but we weren't really that close. We just kind of had this same theme that we went through. Anyway, a couple of years later, everyone knew that this guy was making money, but like really low key, and no one really knew how. Anyway, one day I just kept asking him. And one day he told me he was running a faceless YouTube channel. And I didn't even know like what it was or that it even existed. Yeah. And then he kind of showed me the style of videos. He didn't want to actually tell me the name of his channel because he wanted to keep it low key, you know, because he'd been bullied and burnt as a kid. So it kind of stays with you, that like deep-rooted fear of rejection. So anyway, he showed me these videos, and I mean, it just flipped a switch in my mind. I was like, this is it. Like, this is insane. This is exactly what I want to do. It's YouTube, but it's faceless, it's fully anonymous, and you can make a shit ton of money.
How was the conversation like when he came up to you and said, listen, this is what I actually do?
It was over a long period of time. So it took about 3 years for him to finally tell me. Like he just used to tell me he was making money, and like we knew he was making money, and he was always humble. Like he was like I make money, you know. He was just kind of like we knew he was making money somehow, and I remember like we would be like FBI agents trying to figure out what this guy does. Anyway, one day we went for a walk. I remember it was like during break time in sixth form, and and I was like, brother, are you ever gonna tell me? And he was like, you know what, Fabio, I'll just tell you. He was like, I run a Faceless YouTube channel. And it just clicked. I was like, what? Faceless YouTube channel? What's that? Then he just started to explain it. He was like, okay, so basically you can make top 10 videos, you can make video essays, you can make compilations. And he showed me like the style of videos. And I used to watch these videos, but I had no idea that it was a business and you could actually make money from it. And then after that day, like I remember going home and like I just studied everything there was to know about Faceless YouTube. Like it was a revelation. Couldn't believe that this actually existed.
That it's a business.
It's legit.
Because when I was young, me and my brother used to watch these funny videos, trying to laugh and all these things, and they actually, young you would never notice that it's a business, you know.
Exactly.
How did you transition from his knowledge into then creating your knowledge? Because that's important as well.
100%. So, I mean, he didn't really teach me. He just kind of told me that this is what he was doing.
Okay.
But then I had to like figure it out. And obviously that's, you know, like he can open the door, but then it's up to you to, like, you can lead a horse to water, but then you can't force it to drink. So he opened this door, showed me this business model. Then it was up to me to like learn it, do it, try it.
Yeah.
So I went home and I searched top 10 videos and I started watching different genres. There was like top 10 most expensive houses. Then there was like top 10 YouTubers who fell off. And I started to notice themes of like what did well, what didn't. The ones that did well always had a really eye-catching thumbnail and a simple title. So I wrote that down. Okay, eye-catching title, simple, eye-catching thumbnail, simple title. Okay, then next, I would go on the most popular channels and search by most popular videos. So their most popular videos on their channels. And they were usually all about the same. It was like a video which would be, I don't know, 10 roller coasters you didn't know existed. So I noticed themes like really sensational titles.
That make you think, to click,
exactly,
to watch till the end, like the best one.
Exactly. It kind of seems unbelievable. And they make you want to watch to the end, you know? And that top 10 format was great because you start from the worst and you finish at the best.
Exactly.
So you have that retention. And I just basically studied that format. And then I started my first channel. My first idea, I've mentioned this before, so I'll go over it briefly, was to make compilations.
Yeah.
So like not adding voiceover and scripting and all this shit.
Exactly.
I was just like, I'm just going to cheat the system. I'm just going to do the top 10, but no voiceover.
Yeah.
And back in the day, you could make money from that. Then YouTube changed their policies. Now it has to be more transformative.
Okay.
So I was just making compilations thinking that I was going to succeed. Then I read YouTube's policies and I noticed that you couldn't just monetize a compilation. You had to make it transformative. Otherwise, you could just steal other people's videos, re-upload them and make money. And there's obviously legal issues with that. Yeah. And YouTube want to prevent that.
Exactly. You mentioned sixth form.
Mm-hmm.
What were you studying for back then?
Man, I was just studying whatever. I don't even know now. I had economics. I wanted to do marketing because I've always been like really interested in psychology and what makes people make decisions, how to sell, what makes, you know, like marketing in itself. But my brother at the time was...
Older or younger?
My older brother.
Okay.
He had done economics and he told me that marketing, like a marketing degree, wasn't very respected in universities because I wanted to go to university abroad. Well, I didn't want to go to university anywhere, but my parents forced me. Like, they would not let me drop out. They said, you have to go to university. So I said, if I'm gonna go to university, I want to like reinvent myself and have a good experience. So I said, I'm gonna go abroad. So then I did some research and my brother told me that marketing is not respected. If you want to go to university in the UK, you should do economics, which is similar. In hindsight, it wasn't similar, and I wish I did marketing. Yeah. But anyway, I picked economics and physics. Physics just because I liked physics back in the day. But I sucked at it, though.
And so I also saw one of your videos, as I said before, and you mentioned that you were like, all right, I'm going to sit down with myself. If I go abroad, I have to come back with a reason. Can you mention what happened exactly in your head?
Yes, so I remember I actually recorded a video, but I desperately tried to find it and I couldn't find it because it was in a phone that I dropped in the water and it got all wiped out. But the day before I went off to university in the UK, I recorded a video of myself saying that I'm going to go to university with the sole purpose of dropping out. I'm going to make $6,000 a month, 3 months in a row. Once I hit that, I should be self-sufficient and be able to move out. And if not, like, I'll just do my own thing.
Yeah.
Like, my parents can't tell me otherwise because I'm self-sufficient. So that was the plan. And I actually recorded this video. I wish I still had it. So anyway, that was my plan. And basically, as soon as I went off to university, like, I did not study at all. Like, I didn't go to any lectures. I didn't do anything. I was just making YouTube videos. Like, sorry?
You said it on one of your videos.
Exactly. I was just locked in trying to make this money so that I could drop out. That was the plan.
And did you reach that limit?
I did. I actually reached it after 3 months. So I only did one semester. And on the third month, I remember when I first arrived, I was monetized and I was making about 900 to 1.5K a month of YouTube ad revenue. Then as I said, like, I went all in because I was in a new country and my parents weren't really sending me money because this was post-COVID and my dad's business had gone down the toilet. So, like, they didn't have a lot of money. So they said, like, you have to kind of sustain yourself. And they knew I was doing YouTube, like, doing decent. For them, it was perfect. Like, he can live, pay for his own food and whatever. But for me, I just had this plan, like, I need to drop out. So I just went all in, locked in. Second month, I think I made 2 or 3K. And then I made like 4K. And then in December 2020, I made 70K in a month. I had 3 videos that just absolutely blew up.
So you went from 900?
900. Then it was like 2, then 3, then 4, then 70.
And then just consistent from there.
And from there it's consistent. Yeah. Well, after 70, then I went back down to like 25. 2021, I was making like between 20 to 30K a month. And then 2022, I was doing like 40. And since then, it's kind of increased to about 50, 60, 70.
That's been your best, it's the 70 that made you continue.
That's still, like, I don't make more than 70K a month. But I average that.
Yeah.
But I don't have those, like, crazy spikes.
No, but it's still a nice sum, from YouTube.
Yeah.
Would you have ever thought, there's another question I would like to ask, because then I'll go into this. Did you have any jobs that you said, listen, this is not for me?
Yes, I had 2 jobs. So the first one I worked was a summer job at a restaurant, not at a restaurant, at a hotel. It was a 5-star hotel.
Mic a bit closer, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello, ASMR. It was a 5-star hotel, and I was thinking, like, okay, this is a 5-star hotel. It's great. Like, the environment's gonna be amazing. I'm gonna meet rich people. I can network. It's a nice environment. Like, I was really, really excited. But then the actual work environment was horrible.
In what way?
So there was like this. So let me just have a sip of water. There was like this hierarchy between the general manager and then the manager, then the assistant manager, then it was like the hotel, like food and beverages. There's really like this hierarchy and this power dynamic.
Yeah.
And I was a waiter, not even a waiter, a runner. It's called.
The runners of the drinks, no?
Exactly. A runner, you can just take the drinks, go back and forth, and you're not allowed to take orders. And it was the worst job ever. Like, they treated me horribly. Like, I was like nothing. I was like this idiot student, dumb kid. I wasn't even allowed to take orders, nothing. And it was just so tiring, going back and forth, table to table. And we weren't allowed to sit down, because obviously we had to keep up this like presence and high standards, which I get, for a 5-star hotel. But excuse me, if you want that level of quality, pay for that standard. Like, I was making €5 an hour and not sitting down, trying to be on my best behavior, going back and forth tables. I had to greet new clients. I had to try and remember their names. And it was just so taxing and tiring for €5 an hour. Like, I was really like discouraged. And I remember hating it, like absolutely hating it. And that was, I think, to this day, sometimes when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, oh, I really don't feel like working today. Or like, I want to sleep in. I just remember like how it feels to work for someone else and how powerless you feel. Like, if they tell you, clean the toilet, you have to clean the toilet. And sometimes when I was like not good. You know, if I wasn't on my best behavior, they would make me do tasks which were pretty bad.
Which were?
Like, for example, I would have to go in the kitchen and clean the floor. And like I was a waiter, like I didn't sign up for this, but you have to. Everything is like yes sir, everything. You just have to be on your best behavior all the time, and it's just such a horrible industry. I would
Yeah, man.
never recommend anyone to work in it.
I don't think, okay, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think everyone is capable to do something or work on projects that he can grow himself. I think.
I would disagree with that.
Do you think everyone is? I think it's all about the mindset and the upbringing. I think.
Definitely, but I think there are skills, and as soon as something is a skill, it's teachable. So if with the correct guidance, I think anyone can do it. It's just about having that belief. Obviously, that can come from childhood if you had trauma, this and that, the other. But nothing really matters at the end of the day. Like if you make the decision and you learn that skill, you can do it. It's just reps at the end of the day. Like you just have to do this work, and no matter what you do, whether you manifest it or you're blah blah this and blah that and all woo, at the end of the day, all that matters is that you actually do the work. And no matter, even if you're a terrible person or a great person, if you do the work and you do the reps, you'll still get the results.
Yeah, for sure. But I think it's a matter of laziness as well that people
Yeah.
tend, because for example, these past couple of months. Now, I'm being honest. I don't stop working till 11:30. Then I shut down. But I don't think it's for everyone. You have to have a goal in mind. You have to have this picture in your head that if you want to do it, you have to do it. I don't think it's for everyone. Everyone has different opinions.
Yeah.
So, but what you're saying is a cool and obviously makes sense that if you have the correct guidance and the correct mentor that can help you, you're gonna manage. If not for sure, you're gonna manage to do something for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so you made the 70K. Were you still in Malta?
Well, I was in the UK. I was in uni in the UK. But as soon as I made that 70K, like I told my parents, I'm done. Like I'm dropping out. And it was bad though. Like it's still bad.
Yeah, that was good. Because
Let me try to put it a tiny bit closer.
Yeah, makes sense.
Like this?
Yeah, makes
Better?
sense.
Okay.
Yeah, makes sense.
So you can just cut that. Yeah, let's cut. Anyway, I was in the UK and I came back to Malta and I made that 70K and I showed my parents and I told them and they were happy for me. But then when I told them I'm dropping out, they were just not having it.
Still?
Oh, man. Because they're traditional. Like for them, it was, okay, you can make the money, but what if you go into a room with investors and you have no degree? Which for us, like, it doesn't matter. Like if it makes money, it makes sense. It doesn't matter if you have a degree or not. But they were very traditional, old-fashioned. They wanted me to have a degree, to have this kind of like status in society. But I didn't believe in that. I just wanted to do my own thing, do something that I wake up every morning, I'm happy doing, and make a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
Like, that's all I wanted.
I think it's a matter of the generation as well.
100%.
Like, I don't remember myself ever thinking like my dad, my mother. What if, I think we're all about this generation specifically. There's no what if. I think. What's this? There's no what if. I don't know if it's only me. Is there a what if to you?
What do you mean, what if, though?
So basically, imagine you just came up with an idea. What if you went into a room of investors and you don't have this? I don't think that what if ever comes into mind.
Yeah. No, and I think it's different. I think people nowadays don't value degrees like they used to, because I feel like university is kind of passé a bit. It's kind of... People know that you don't necessarily need it to be successful nowadays. And there are a lot of intelligent people and hyper successful people that don't have degrees, but that are disruptors in an industry. That's another word, disruptor. Remember what they used to call us disruptors at school? Like if that parent-teacher meeting, right. They would say a disruptor. It was like the worst insult. Nowadays, if you call a disruptor, like Yahoo, you see disrupting the tech industry. That's like the best compliment you can give. So it's weird how that works, I feel like...
True, huh? It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
I feel like at school, they teach the wrong things. Well, I mean, maybe now it's changing. I'm sure that they will change. Like, they have to see the direction that...
I was speaking to someone, I think, yesterday, and he told me I have masters and all these things. He told me when I got to pay my taxes, I had no idea how. I asked for help. What do you think about it?
To ask for help to pay your taxes. I mean, I did the same thing. I didn't even know what taxes were. Like,
Exactly. So why don't they teach us these things? It's life.
because I think that they, you know, we've built up a society, or at least up till a good 5 years ago. COVID kind of changed a lot of things and got us into this new world of like the attention economy, where everything's online, everything is content, and like the most valuable currency is people's attention.
Yeah.
But schools are still on that old system where we had this society where you need to train people to work for people and be good cogs in a machine. And so how do you teach that? You teach that by reinforcing studying, reinforcing good behavior, reinforcing working for somebody else, for a greater goal, for the company. So they don't necessarily want to teach you how to do your own taxes, how to be your own boss, how to be an entrepreneur, because then you're going off, you're away from the system, then you're your own person. And that for the greater societies maybe back in the day wasn't beneficial.
Yeah.
So it's planned for like an older world. But this is why I'm saying I'm sure they'll change. They have to change up the system.
I think
so.
it's not about time. I think exactly they have
'Cause,
to.
like, imagine our kids. We wouldn't want to send them to a school that's still teaching these old ways. You know?
I think it's always a loop. I think it's always a loop. When we're older, they will have a different idea. You know, and it's gonna be in our generation, as in when they'll be teaching our generation to a different generation, if it makes sense.
I do not understand that, but yes.
So the schools.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't get.
Imagine if they change the schools, they'll be teaching our knowledge to a different generation, and it's always going to be in a rotating circle.
Yeah. Okay.
Make sense?
I get you. Yeah.
Let's go into something else, because I think we covered school, content creation, and the industry itself. I don't think it's easy. Personally, I was a very not quiet kid. I wasn't, how can I say? I didn't want to portray myself to the world in the beginning, you know, even like around 3 years ago. And I was always in my room, you know, listening to podcasts, reading, journaling. And then like, I look back and I say, all right, I was listening, I was the consumer. Now, as you said in the beginning, I'm the creator. It's not easy to transform your life into a creator. So what was your experience like?
Well, I mean, I kind of took the easy route because I wasn't necessarily creating content as in filming brand new content.
With your face.
Exactly. Faceless Challenge, you're basically aggregating content from the internet into a new piece of content. So you're taking what's already out there and all you're adding to it is new forms of editing, a new story, script and voice.
Yeah.
And then it's a new piece of content. But what was your question?
You're creating YouTube now, right? What was the transition like? Because obviously you had to portray yourself out to the world. And
wait, you mean now that I'm like showing my face on camera?
When did you start portraying your face to the world?
Well, I think probably like a year ago, maybe 1 or 2 years ago.
How did you feel about it?
I just knew I had to do it. Like, I just really wanted to do it. Like, it was always in my mind. Like, when I was a kid, I didn't start a Faceless YouTube channel. Like, I started myself. I was making videos. And I always, like, listened to, I think my mom had told me this, which was to find your passion, find what you used to do as a kid, and then try to make that your profession later on, because that's what you're naturally drawn to. And as a kid, I used to always pretend I was in a YouTube video. Like when I was playing PlayStation, I would like narrate. I would say, all right, I'm about to kill this guy. Okay, oh man, we got double XP. Like I was a loser, like downstairs on the sofa narrating my gameplay. So it was always in me. I always wanted to be like an entertainer, a YouTuber, but I didn't have the confidence or the money or like the built up self-esteem to do it.
That's it, confidence.
So once I kind of figured out who I was, in that I made money from this Faceless thing, I had a solid foundation, a solid base, and I was confident in myself, I was like, fucking man, now I'm gonna do it. Like, I don't care what anyone says, because like I'm here, I'm doing it, and I'm loving my life. So I just took out a camera and created a piece of content, and it was so liberating.
And what was it?
The first one I did, man, I just had this idea to do this video about like this, I don't know if you've seen it on my channel, bottle smashing video, where there was this trend on TikTok.
Up the stairs.
Exactly, where people were rolling bottles down the stairs, like full bottles of wine. And they were going super viral. And I was really intrigued by this idea. Like, why are they doing this? Surely there must be like a business idea behind it. They're making money
Yeah.
from the views, or maybe they're promoting a product or something. So I just decided to make a video about it. Like, I actually bought the bottles, rolled them down the stairs, filmed them, and tried to make money from it. Then at the end, it kind of failed. I only made like 15 cents. But it was kind of proof of concept that I wanted to do this, and I did it. And that was so fun. Like, having this idea, filming the content, uploading it, and then getting validation from people saying, love this video, love your work, blah, blah, blah.
So that was the click.
It was the click. Then from there, I was like, okay, I want to do more. And even though I'm not very consistent, but I'm just having fun with it.
And now where are you at on your personal channel?
No, it's grown well. I mean, I'm at 40k subs. Hopefully, by the time you're watching this, I'm at a milli, baby. But I'm just kind of making videos on like stuff I find interesting, like stuff I find fun. Because I'm in quite a blessed position where I don't need to do it for the money, and there's no business behind it. So I can kind of invest in it and make videos that I'm actually proud of.
And then look back and say, all right. So you have like a portfolio you're creating
Exactly.
for yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the goal. I mean, I'm just having fun with it and trying to build up this personal brand. And then in the future, obviously, once you have a personal brand and people know your face online, you can plug it into any business.
Let's speak about that. Do you see importance in personal branding?
100%, man. Like, it's the only way forward, I believe. I mean, I say that, but if it's not for you, it's not for you. You know, it's like telling me to be an accountant. Like, fuck that, you know?
Yeah.
But for most people, I think building a personal brand in whatever industry you're in is vital. Because we're definitely moving to a space where everything is online and people learn from people online. So you need to be an authoritative figure in your niche. And then from that, if you can command attention, then you can make money endlessly.
When you're saying building a personal brand, in your eyes, how do you think you can build a personal brand?
I mean, the most important thing is just picking up a camera and making content. Like, that's number one. But making content about stuff that you actually know and like.
Yeah.
You know, the most important thing is just being yourself. Like, you are your own niche. You know, once I listened to something, it was really interesting. Like, for example, Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan doesn't have a niche. He didn't go into podcasting thinking, I'm going to be talking about MMA, but also jiu-jitsu, but also aliens and politics and business. He created his own niche because he likes all these things. So you can create your own niche just by being yourself on camera. Whatever you like, just talk about that, post about that. Then you'll find people from these different niches and buckets that also like what you like, that will follow you for that.
Makes sense.
And you'll find the 1% that like everything that you like, and those will be your core fan base.
Core fans. Exactly. I saw someone, I think I was listening to a podcast, and this guy doesn't have a lot of followers. And he said, my following, imagine he has 1K followers, but those 1K are the 1K he truly needs to upscale his business. And they're like, the 1K are always buying, they're always supporting, you know. Imagine you have 40K. I have only 2K that are actually following you all the time. Which do you prefer? It's a difficult question.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It depends on what you're valuing.
Exactly.
Like, if you're doing it for the money, then obviously it makes more sense just to like super niche down, make videos about just your business, just what you're trying to sell, just what you're trying to make money from, and then just focus on that, having a small core audience that follow you for that one thing. But for me personally, I'm not like at the moment really trying to make money from it. I'm just making videos that I find interesting.
Personal.
Yeah, personal.
And do you think you can grow your personal bigger?
Yes,
obviously.
for sure.
And how? You keep on creating these.
Just consistency, man.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing I need. Like, if I'm gonna go all in, I just need to be consistent and find a repeatable format that I can post at least one video a month.
And do you edit?
I edit like 95% of it.
All right.
But it's fun, man. Like, it's one of those things. You know, last year I kind of had this revelation. I got to a point where I achieved everything I thought I wanted, which was like freedom, money, time. Like, I could do anything I wanted and still make money, and didn't have to really do anything. Like, I didn't have to report to a boss. I didn't have to do anything, and I was still making money. Like, I built a team and I outsourced everything.
How big is the team?
The team now is 8 people.
Now.
Yeah.
All right. Which consists of?
So there's a manager, there's 2 writers, there's 2 editors, there's a voiceover, and then that's for one side, and then there's multiple channels, and those have their own managers.
All right.
So I guess it's actually in total bigger than 8, but the core is 8.
Yeah. Yeah. And why didn't you put all your eggs in one basket?
What do you mean?
So you have multiple channels.
Yeah.
Why don't you just focus on one and grow that?
This is separate, by the way, from my personal. Like, if anyone's wondering, like, what the difference is between my personal and these channels.
Yeah, exactly.
This is my business. Like, that's how I make my money. And then the personal channel is something different that I'm doing on the side. But those, I mean, because I realized that I was making money from one, and I was making a lot of money. And I just thought, like, if I have one, might as well have 2. 3, 4, like I can just double down. I know the formula, I know the recipe. Now I can just start multiple channels and they can all make money, which in hindsight, it's easier said than done, because going into different niches is always difficult because you have to learn about the niche. But then you can hire people that are good, good writers, people that are interested in whatever niche you're trying to get into. And then it's just time, man, time and consistency.
One of your videos, because I did some research, obviously, you mentioned that you took the leap, and instead of doing it in English, you changed into Spanish.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
And why was that?
So that was for another compilation channel. And that was because I saw the Spanish market was untapped. Like now, like YouTube automation, these faceless YouTube channels, it's like very, very saturated. Everyone and their mother is trying to make money from it. But obviously there's always room for the best. So if you go in and you actually do it properly, you can still make money very easily. But I wanted to do something quicker. Like I wanted to make quicker money for this like video I was doing about how I made a channel and made money from it. So I decided to go into an untapped niche, which was Spanish videos. No one was making like these faceless videos in Spanish. So I just decided to do that, and it paid off. Like it did well. It picked up like almost immediately and made like 7K in the second month, which was pretty crazy. But then there were issues with copyright and whatever.
Yeah.
And I mean, I kind of just did it for the video, like not to run it itself. So I wasn't really bothered. But
do you have any knowledge that you'd like to share today to the audience? Just a quick point that if they want to start their own faceless.
Yeah, I would say first pick your niche. So whatever it is, whether it's top 10s, whether it's video essays, whether it's videos about celebrities, videos about money, pick your niche. I would say pick something that you generally would like to watch yourself. Because if you like watching it yourself, then you're going to be more inclined to knowing what does well and what makes a good video.
Yeah.
So pick something that you like, so pick your niche, and ideally it's something that videos that you would personally watch. Then find the #1 channel in that niche. So the best, who's the best of the best in that niche. Find that channel and study their format. Find what they do, how they do it, how many times a week do they post, what do their thumbnails look like, what do their titles look like, and study that. Then make spin-offs of it, so you can make trial videos. You can like reword their videos, take their video, download it, and re-edit it in what you would see to be slightly better than the original, if possible. Because as I said, you want to there's always room for the best. So you want to try and be the best in that niche.
Exactly.
So that best channel, think that you can make it even better. So once you've practiced and you can make spin-offs of their videos and you feel like you understand the style, then you make your own. Then the steps are simple. First, you source the clips, then you make a script. Let's say, for example, let me give a tangible example. Yeah. Let's say you find a niche posting celebrity videos, and their most popular video is Brad Pitt's most embarrassing moments. All right, so you take Brad Pitt's most embarrassing moments. Then you say, let me make a spin-off of that. So you say, 10 times Brad Pitt was caught lacking, for example. So you can take some of the clips that they already used in the original video, try to find new content, so new clips of Brad Pitt lacking. Then you make a script about it. So make a compelling intro, make sure it's fast, make sure it's punchy, make sure you really get to the point, and you solidify the reason people clicked on the video. So you're gonna deliver, like I'm about to deliver. You clicked to see Brad Pitt lacking. First thing you see is Brad Pitt lacking. So this is a moment when Brad Pitt was caught lacking on the Today Show, and boom, you show that clip. So now you've just validated their click. So now they're invested into the video. Then you kind of ease into the video and you kind of script it in a way that makes sense. So you try to make it flow.
Yeah.
That's obviously trial and error, and as I said, copying what the best people in the niche are doing. Once you've done that, you get it voiced. So you can, I mean, nowadays you can use AI, which is very easy. Like you can use 11 Labs, Artlist, whatever, to like generate a voiceover. Once you have the voiceover and the clips, then you edit them together.
So what do you need to get first?
What
The
do you mean?
voiceover or
So
the
first
video?
source the clips, like the actual
Okay,
content.
yeah.
So 10 times Brad Pitt was lacking. Then write a script about it. Then generate the voiceover. So that script obviously needs to be voiced.
Yeah.
Because
Exactly.
who's going to say, this was a moment when Brad Pitt was quote lacking on the Today Show? You need someone to speak
Yeah.
that. Either you can record it yourself, but most people, their
Well,
voice
yeah.
isn't good enough for
Exactly.
YouTube. So either get AI voice or hire a voice actor from Fiverr. Once you've done that, edit it together. So basically, you just put the voiceover underneath, get all the clips, and edit them. Obviously, you need to learn editing. Either you learn it, or if you have the money to invest, you can treat it as a business
And
and
what's the
outsource it.
ideal amount you'll pay for each video as a beginner?
It depends on the length of the video, but I would say a good place to start for about a 9 to 10 minute video would be about $250.
All right.
So 250 for an edit would be like starting point. Then if you want it really high quality, you probably need to pay upwards of like 400,
Yeah.
about $400, then you get a really good video. And then obviously it depends on the length. You have to remember that YouTube is trying to compete with Netflix. You know, they have short form to fight TikTok and Instagram Reels, but then long form to fight Netflix. They're trying to dominate the TV. They want people to watch TV and think of YouTube first up.
Yeah.
And what's the first thing you do? Like, let's say you're eating and you're watching YouTube on TV. You see a length of a video. You want the video to be long enough to finish your entire meal. So it gets more of a click if it's a 17-minute video versus a 4-minute video. People want to invest time into it and like actually enjoy a longer video, a longer story. Because most people nowadays watch YouTube on TV. If you check your analytics,
Really?
it's quite crazy.
Still, mine. I think it's the same. What you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
I think. Well, yeah. To be honest.
Yeah, that's
I
why. I
checked
mean,
it out
that's
this
why
morning.
podcasts picked up so well as well, because they're long format. So people can just set it and forget it,
Yeah.
whether they're eating, whether they're in the car, whatever. And for YouTube, it's great because you have to look at YouTube as a business as well. Like they're trying to make money.
Yeah.
And when they have their quarterly reports, they show their investors how much time people spent on their platform. So obviously longer videos equals more watch time, equals YouTube dominating the market more, equals they can make more money from advertisers. So you have
Yeah.
to make it a win-win-win, you know, like think highest level
Yeah.
what you can do.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Obviously, I liked what you mentioned to the audience, and I want to ask you another question that maybe could make sense for multiple and the younger generations.
Mm-hmm.
If you have 1K
Mm-hmm.
cash at the moment, what could you do with it to scale it?
Put it all on red. Let's go. 1K. So 1K, you're trying to make what? Let's set it realistic. 1K, you want to make 10K.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay, so first thing I would do is buy a pre-monetized YouTube channel. That will speed up the process tenfold. So let's say you drop $300 on a monetized channel. It will have maybe 2K subs, pre-monetized, so that as soon as you post, you can start making money. Second thing I would do is learn to edit so that you can save as much money as possible. I mean, I believe editing is a skill. Like, you can learn it pretty quickly, and it's really high value. Like, if there's one high value skill, it's video editing. You can
Yeah.
use it in any industry. And then do exactly what I was saying before, which is find a niche, find the best channels, make spin-offs, and start posting those videos. And then basically what you're doing with that 1K is like buying yourself time to make as many videos as possible and to be able to invest into better voiceover, better edits,
Yeah.
better scripts.
And how long will that 1K last? Not much.
Well, it depends. I mean, if you're making the videos like entirely yourself, like I was at the beginning, let's say with that 1K, you already have a laptop, you know, because then if you have to buy a laptop, then you're
Yeah.
back to zero.
Yeah.
But let's say you already have a laptop. That 1K can make you easily 30, 40 videos, you know, assuming you're only paying for the voiceover, which is like a subscription to an AI
Yeah.
software. So easily you can make 40 videos, and in 40 videos, you should definitely have one that popped off. And then basically you just make spin-offs of that.
And when you say popped off, what's the number?
I would say if it's getting more than 5,000 views every single hour, 5K views per hour, then it's popping off. Once you see that number, then you should immediately get back in the lab and make a part 2, 3, 4. Just rinse and repeat, because that's what works on YouTube. People want to see more of what they like. Like I mean, think about it. Did you watch Interstellar? Like, great movie in summer. So let's say you watch Interstellar. First thing you want to do after you watch Interstellar is watch Interstellar 2 or 3 or 4.
Yeah.
You just want to watch more of what you like. And so if you make spin-offs of that video, YouTube's going to see it and push it to that audience again. And they're going to be more inclined to watch it because they watched the first one. And ideally, they liked it was a good video. And they'll be more inclined to watch the second one.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. I usually like to go into the quickfire questions.
Okay.
If you to make it a bit more interesting.
Let's do it.
I made it a bit more around the content world.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, quick fire questions.
Let's do it.
So I have a few. Okay, I don't know how much, but I have a few. Let's go to the first one. What's the strangest habit you've picked up as a content creator?
The strangest habit. Man, off the top of my head, I cannot think of a strange habit. Probably being obsessed with thumbnails.
Yeah.
Like, it's a habit. As soon as I click on a video, I have like a software that just expands the thumbnail. And I usually download the thumbnail and I look at it. Like, I just love thumbnails. So that's probably a strange habit. Probably people don't really care when they click on a video.
Exactly.
Well, people that don't make content. People that do, they know that the thumbnail is the most important part.
Yeah, makes sense. All right. Next one. If you had to pick one skill that made you successful, what is it?
One skill, video editing, 100%. Video editing it's paid dividends in so many forms. I learned video editing when I was a kid, when I was editing my first ever channel. And then I had to relearn it because I kind of forgot it. But nowadays, I mean, I've really honed that skill and it's so powerful. Any business you're in, content is key. And if you can edit, you can save either so much money or you can implement your vision exactly the way you would want to make it, which is invaluable.
Makes sense. All right. What's the wildest idea you've ever had for a video that you haven't done yet?
To make $1 million and film the entire thing. I think that would be so interesting, but it would take so long. Like, to take a good 4 years, I think, like from scratch, 0 to $1 million entirely on camera. In 4 years, I could do it, but it would be hard. Like, it would be really dedicating everything I would have to it. But maybe one day I'll do it because it would be sick.
That's nice, man. I would watch it for sure.
Yeah.
That's cool.
From a real business, not like fucking some
obviously.
steak.com promotion, you know?
All right, next. If you would swap lives with another creator, who would it be?
I would say Danny Duncan. I don't know if you know
No.
Danny Duncan, but he's like a vlogger and he's hilarious. And his life is just optimized on exactly what he loves to do. So he just messes around. He has this huge farmland in Florida.
Okay. Yeah.
And basically he built like a ramp and he has a
He
bunch
smokes
of...
weed as well, which I...
No, he's
No?
sober. He's fully sober, which is another thing
But
I
he
respect.
used to be.
I don't know.
Something like that.
He looks like he
And he
would.
has long hair.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
He
exactly.
looks like he would, but he actually says that he doesn't.
He
which I
walks
respect.
barefoot as well, like it's a...
So he's always naked. He's
yeah.
a bit of a hippie, but he's just so cool. And he's built a merch brand worth multiple 9 figures. Like, he's proper doing it well. So that's someone I would definitely want to swap lives
Makes
with.
sense. Okay, next. What's one thing you wish you'd know? Wait, I made a mistake here. Okay.
Start cutting it, bro.
I made a mistake. I cut half of it out for some reason. Anyways, next. If your content was a theme song, what would it be?
If my content
I'm gonna
was
read
a
just a
theme
sec
song,
because it's a good one. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's a question.
Yeah.
My God, there was a theme song. Man, that's such a random ass question. What? I don't know, man. I'm just gonna say Eminem, Lose Yourself. Boom. That's the first song I thought of.
Fucking hell.
Bro, what?
Okay, I fixed this. I had a fuck up here. But anyway, what's one thing you wish you'd knew before starting your YouTube channel?
That it would take a lot longer than expected. You mean my personal or my faceless ones?
Anything.
Anything. That it just takes long.
And how long is long? Wait, that sounds wrong as fuck.
I would say above 5 inches is long enough. No, I would say be prepared to devote an entire year without seeing results. Like you have to really push through it.
Yeah.
Because at the beginning, I remember seeing my friend doing it, and I had this belief like if other people can do it, I can do it too.
He was making money, you weren't.
Exactly.
Demotivating. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Makes sense. What's a guilty pleasure when it comes to food? Okay, let's make it make sense. That you take as a cheat meal.
Oh man, I love food. I would say like a nice double smash burger.
From?
In Malta, we don't have that many good ones, man. So when I'm back in Dubai, I love Shake Shack. Shake Shack's so good. It's like juicy. The lettuce is crispy.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean it's not like really fast food. It's like a hybrid fast food / restaurant, but it's so good. It's so good. Malta, we need a good smash burger. Last time I had a smash burger in Malta, it tasted like straight grease. It was horrible, man.
Okay, this is the best one, and it's the last one. What's one of the question? What's the question you'd hope your audience would never ask you?
How big's your dick?
I can imagine your DMs right now if I was gonna be asking this question.
I hope they'd never ask me. Man, I mean, I could just tell you a question I find really annoying is when people ask me for free stuff. Like? Can I get one of the channels you started? Or can you give me money? Like, I hate those questions. It's like people just... I mean, I get it, like shoot your shot. But it's so frustrating. And I'm like a micro, not even... 40k subs on YouTube, 1k on Instagram. So I can imagine people with millions, like they're probably bombarded 24/7 with people asking them for shit. And it's just so annoying.
So don't fucking ask.
Exactly. Stop asking me to get my channel. I'm not giving you shit.
I think it's a cool memory, to keep it for yourself and say, listen, I built this.
100%. And also, like, it's part of the video. Like, people will watch a video where I built a secret channel, and then they'll want to see that channel. Now, if I give you the channel, and all of a sudden you're posting random videos of, like, some OnlyFans girls, or I don't even know, then it looks bad on me. So, obviously, I would want to keep it protected.
Makes sense. All right. This is a question I like to ask not too many people, but I like to ask it in some of my episodes. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I think about this a lot, and I think about it in the perspective of...
You'll be 27. Yeah.
I kind of switch the perspective. I always imagine, let's say you and I made a pact not to meet for the next 5 years. Okay, so we say, Luca, I cannot see you for the next 5 years. Block me on Instagram, YouTube, everything. Okay, now we are teleported to this room 5 years later. I'm 27, you are 24.
Yeah.
Right? We meet up and we debrief on what happened in the last 5 years. So
That's
put yourself
fun, huh?
in that mindset of what happened these last 5 years and really pretend you're that guy. You're the you in 5 years' time and you're kind of talking about your life journey. So for me, I always say that I doubled down on my personal YouTube channel. I kept growing the Faceless ones, got them to 100k a month pretty consistently. And then I kind of moved my business to America. I went to LA and I basically expanded my connections and just kept... Wait, can you cut that? Can you cut that? Let me word it differently. All right. Ask me again. No, okay. Here's what we'll do. So after that whole shift perspective thing, boom, now we're gonna cut to here. Actually cut it though, because I look like a fucking donut.
Nope.
So let me answer it. Where do I see myself in 5 years?
Yeah,
Because
okay.
for some people it might be confusing. Like if I'm speaking in the past tense, imagine it's a clip.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, makes sense.
Like
makes
it's
sense.
too confusing.
Yeah, makes
So
sense.
where I see myself in 5 years, I think I'll double down on my personal YouTube channel, move to America.
Why is that?
I think there's just a way better opportunity there.
Alright.
Like for actual content, they're leading. You know, especially even I live in Dubai and you're not allowed to film people in public, which is crazy.
No?
It's like I believe nowadays you should be able to, like if you step out in public, you consent to being on camera because everything is content. Everyone's filming all the time. So anyway, there's that. I would definitely move to America, double down on my personal channel, bring up my Faceless YouTube channels to 100K a month and consistently run those in the background. So that's like an income that's constantly coming in. And just travel and basically do what I love, you know, which is make content, make connections, meet new people, and also hopefully teach people how to do YouTube. Like I know it's like overdone and whatever, but I want to make like a proper course,
Yeah.
like a be all end all course that like really teaches you A to Z how to actually make money on YouTube. Not like some cash grab
Yeah,
shit, you know.
makes sense.
But for that I need a lot of time. Like I need to actually
For sure. You have to actually make it, not make it happen because you did in a way.
exactly.
you
No,
have to- you
I
have to
have the
prove the point.
knowledge. I just
Yeah.
need to like condense it into like a proper
Yeah.
course.
Let's go into relationships.
Hmm.
I think it's very important. You mentioned before we started that you came to Malta, obviously, to meet your family and also your girlfriend.
Okay.
How do you handle that?
Well, so right now I'm in a long distance relationship with my girlfriend Isabella. Shout out Isabella. We've been together for 4.5 years, and obviously I moved to Dubai last October, and for tax reasons because I was getting shafted in Malta by
Yeah.
the Maltese government. So anyway, so yeah, I live there, and basically what I do is I just come down as often as possible. So almost like every month and a half, I'll come down for about a week to 10 days here in Malta, and we'll spend time together. And then when she can, I'll fly her out to see me in Dubai.
Yeah.
And like that, I mean, it makes it work. Obviously, we're in quite a blessed position where I can afford to, you know, fly her out or fly myself out, and I don't need to take leave and whatever. So it's different for most people,
Yeah.
but it's still difficult, and you know, we try to make it work, and I think we're doing it. We're managing.
You think you're making it stronger? It keeps you stronger.
100%, man, because what it does is basically when you miss each other, there's more to talk about when you're actually together, and you value that time together far more.
Even when you fight, like you're fighting on the phone, bam, finished.
True,
No,
but
it's
we
true,
try
it's
not
true.
to fight, because when fighting long distance, you can't really resolve it.
Yeah.
Like a fight, you really resolve it when you like hug it out and say, okay, let's move past it.
Exactly.
But when you're long distance, if you have a fight, it's really, really difficult because it's just over the phone, and then you're constantly thinking about it
yeah.
all day, and you can't like actually physically meet the person to resolve it. So that's something we try to do, is never fight. Obviously, arguments come up and stuff, but yeah,
And you're 23, so you're still very young.
yeah.
And obviously leaving your family over here, it's not easy.
Mm.
How did you handle it when you went abroad for school as well? You were very young still. How was it like leaving anyone here?
It wasn't that hard.
No?
No, I feel bad. Maman, je t'aime. No, it's like I mean, I don't know. It's something I always wanted to do. Like I always wanted to spread my wings and experience what it's like to actually live abroad and create your own life. You know, because if you're always living with your parents, it's very comfortable and gets easy, and you don't really get to experience what it's like to have to pay your own rent, buy your own groceries, do your own thing, make a schedule, wake up. That whole thing that teaches you what real life is like, I think is invaluable. So it's something I always wanted to do. So when I went abroad for the first time, like I was really excited. So it wasn't that difficult, to be honest.
Yeah. And how long did you spend alone? Like how long?
What do you mean?
A year?
When I was in uni?
Yeah.
No, I only went for 4 months, 3,
And
4
then came
months.
back and quit.
Exactly.
And now in Dubai you've been
Dubai, I've been over a year.
over a year.
Yeah.
And when do you think of flying out to the US?
To the US, I mean, I don't know, because it's difficult with my girlfriend as well.
Yeah.
Like, how are we gonna sort it out? Because Dubai is only like an 8-hour flight one way. US would be a lot more difficult. But I don't know. I try not to like think about it too much. I just know it eventually has to happen.
Yeah.
I think probably 2027, 2028, I'll start going up and down to visit. Well, if the US is watching, the government's watching this, I will not be flying illegally. Because it's really complicated, man. You can't just like go and come back for business, because then they start to get fishy.
Yeah.
You have to show them that you have strong ties to your home country, and you're only traveling like for leisure, unless obviously you get like an A1 visa and you move there officially.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully
You saw the
2027
visas that came out, the gold visa.
for the US.
Yeah.
I haven't seen
You
it.
pay like
no.
5 million.
Wow, that's crazy. That's sick though.
You pay 5 million, and you have like there's the visa,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's the gold ones.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you can just buy your way to the US. That's
Yeah.
crazy. That's worth it, huh, though. I mean, 5 minutes is a lot.
But it makes sense
It
for people
does.
who want to,
It does.
who afford it. Makes sense.
Exactly. But at that point, if you afford it, you probably have a really solid business, and then you could live in the US without this golden visa thing. Like if you show them that you are extremely talented, that's what they call it, in your field, and you want to bring that business to the US, it's relatively straightforward to actually move there
Yeah.
legally.
Yeah, but it's a plus. You can buy away.
No, 100%, 100%.
You know.
You can buy anything, man.
So what I like to do with every guest is, I don't know if you use it. I don't know if you're gonna use it,
Mm-hmm.
but I like to pass this empty journal to
Okay.
write your notes. Okay, anything you want to write, maybe the scripts as well. This is yours.
Okay. Thank you. So I can just keep it.
Yeah.
Wow, thank you.
Nothing much, but
No, it's clean, man. I love a good journal.
that's for you. Do you journal or no?
I used to. Then I kind of got bored. I tried to do this thing. Once I watched a podcast of Rob Dyrdek, the founder of Ridiculousness on MTV.
All right. Yeah.
So he's a very successful man, and he talks about what you can do is journal every single day. Rate your day on a scale of 1 to 10. So at night when you go home after the whole day is done,
Yeah.
rate your day on a scale of 1 to 10, and write what you did and why it's that number. So for example, if it's an 8 on 10, maybe you had a really productive day, you met friends, you met a loved one, you did something exciting, you had an adrenaline rush, boom, 8 on 10, great day. Maybe if you had a 4 or 5 on 10, you write down why it was the case, what you did, and then you can look back and take an average. So on the days that are all a 4 on 10, I wake up late, I'm not productive, I don't meet friends, and you can eliminate those days
Exactly.
and design your life to have as many 8 on 10 days as possible.
Exactly.
And I tried to do that, but then I got fed up, man, like writing every single night, my hand
Yeah.
was getting tired. I was like, man, fuck this shit.
I think the only problem I have with journaling, which I do daily, is that I write too much.
Mm.
I think it should be more point form. Like listen, blah blah blah, time finished,
Mm-hmm.
date finished. Because when I used to write 2-3 pages, that's where you get bored.
Yeah.
That's where you get bored. Fabio, I think you spoke great today to our audience. It's the
Thank
8th
you.
episode already. We started, I think, February.
You're
First week
smashing
February.
it, man. I respect it.
Thank you so much.
You're killing it.
Yeah, thanks. Guys, I'm very pissed off because 81% of you who are watching don't subscribe.
Hit that button. Just click it. It's free and you make his day. Just be a nice guy. Boom. Click it, done.
The red.
Alright, wait, let me flip the question onto you. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Nice. I love this. So, to be honest, it's a very hard question.
Mm.
I can't say I'm lost, but the vision is very blurry in a way. I know that I'm gonna succeed for sure, because imagine you're working on something consistently day in day out and doesn't succeed. It's impossible.
Mm.
I'm an athlete myself as well, so I believe I'll be a very successful athlete as well here in Malta. But regarding business-wise, that's why we're here today. I think that I can scale this very well, this podcast. I don't think it will be my main focus, but I think it will be a place where I can connect with new people
Mm.
and obviously discuss opportunities and different ideas and learn new things. To be honest, where can I be in 5 years? Probably a bit more. I don't think here in Malta, to be honest.
Mm.
Probably as well, as you said, the US could be a very big opening door for me, but a bit more independent as a person.
Okay.
I think that's where I want to increase And
What do you mean independent? In what way?
I think, to be honest, if my mom comes to pass away or my father, I pass away with them. So like they're my character.
Okay.
They're my shield, you know. So
Mhm.
that's basically it. I joke around with my mother. Like I have this automatic button that if she passes away, I pass away.
That's crazy.
You know. So no, all jokes aside, I think that independent, you know, more like household independency, you know, these type of things,
Mm.
financial independence as well. Right? I think
Makes
I can.
sense. 100%. I
So
get you.
and I'll be 24, 24 exactly, and
Yeah.
possibly follow your footsteps as well.
That's
The
good.
content creation
That's it,
part.
bro. That's it. I mean, you have to nowadays, man. It's like
It was
it's the
so
only
hard
way
for me to
forward.
transition.
Sorry.
It was so hard for me to transition into content creation. I met. So the story about it was that I met Adam,
Mhm.
and the idea of Champions Connect. I said it multiple times. I wanted to open an agency where I can help athletes get sponsors.
Mhm.
Okay, which is not a bad idea.
Yeah.
But here in Malta, it's never gonna work
Mm.
for now because athletes are not content creating. So imagine I'm Adidas, for example, and you're an athlete and you have 2K followers. You don't upload. You know, why should I give you money
Mm.
and equipment for you to boost for me?
Yeah.
Just so I can see on the television. Doesn't make
Yeah.
sense, you know. So I was like, all right, let me speak to Adam. Maybe we can collaborate on some things. And he sat down with me and he told me, listen, I like the idea, but it's not gonna work out. I later on realized myself. Check the creator economy. I was like, what's this? You know, I had no idea. I was researching. I also went on to podcasts and nothing came up about it. And I was researching, and then I transformed to creating challenges with athletes, creating connections, you know, having fun. I was like, I need to provide value to my audience. So value, I had a vision board in my head. Value, people, how can I connect them together? YouTube is the main part, and Spotify. Okay, that's where we're providing this podcast. How can we connect it? I be the host. I get a guest. He shares his story, and that's where we can combine the story.
Mm.
That's the idea. That was a.
That's just yeah, no, for sure. No, that terrible voice crack.
I wanted to keep my cool, but buddy, after the episode, I would like no wait. The final thing, the question. So we had our last guest was Miguel Mifsud. I'm not sure if you know Miguel Mifsud. Miguel Mifsud was one of Malta's best football players,
Okay.
which then at the age of 19 went on to taking heroin.
Whoa.
And he had a very tough road to now being sober and running 100 miles for self-awareness. And he left you a question. He didn't know you were coming.
Okay.
So it's an anonymous question.
I rate it. It's like the diary of a CEO.
Yeah, that's where I got the idea from, and I really liked it. Huh? All right. So I didn't read it myself. So we'll see. Okay. What's one challenge you overcame that changed your life forever?
One challenge I overcame that changed my life forever. That's a deep one.
Good question, Miguel. Lovely.
I think the fear of caring about what people think. Like I just used to be so obsessed.
And when was the click like?
The click was honestly, I mean, it was over years of building up my character to be able not to care. So I kind of maybe in a way cheated out of it,
Yeah.
because you could just not care like immediately. You could be whoever you are, and you like everyone's gonna die, man, one day. So nothing matters. Like it really doesn't matter. Do whatever you want to do.
We're just dust at the end of the day.
Literally,
Thinking
man.
about it.
No, but genuinely, everyone's gonna die. So it doesn't matter, man. Why do you care about what they're gonna think if you post a piece of content or you post yourself looking maybe shameful on the internet because you're trying a new business or trying something new? No one cares, man. Like this person that you care about their judgment, are you gonna stop them from pursuing your own dream? They're gonna die, and you're gonna die as well. So nothing matters.
And everyone has his own problems.
Yes, but exactly. So that was for me overcoming that fear of like caring what people think and judgment, and like actually putting myself out there and being able to follow exactly what I wanted to do and work on myself. That really changed my life.
Yes, that's the answer to the question.
100%.
All right. So what I'm gonna do, this is after the pod ends, is I'm gonna ask you to leave a question for the next guest.
All right.
Okay. And a short note for the podcast future,
Okay.
which I think is a very cool
It
idea
is.
for this. You know.
Let's get it.
So, as I said, and I'm gonna repeat myself. So just in case you didn't press it, 81% of you, 81.3, I think, don't subscribe. There's a red button under the video. Press and like, subscribe, leave a comment. Fabio, thanks so much once again for being here.
Thank you, man. Thank you
I
for
think
having me.
it was a really cool one. It reminds me of the beginning of the how I'm gonna word this. It reminds me of my thought of having this podcast.
Okay.
Young people, you know, talking about their life, and I think that's the idea that I wanted to follow.
Yeah.
This podcast right here. So thank you for
It's
making
sick,
it happen.
man, and thank you for having me. And
Thanks.
this is a sick set, everything. Nah, you're killing it, bro, for real.
Thank you so much, guys. Whoever's watching, guys, girls, thank you so much. Champions Connect out. Thank you very much.